employee enthusiasm, handmade Houston, and plunging pools. All this and more as the Stafford Weekly News starts now. Welcome to the Friday, June 19th edition of the Stafford Weekly News. I'm Randall Williams. The city of Stafford held its annual employee luncheon recently, and some awards might have been handed out.
Strengthening our community takes a dedicated team, and last Thursday, June 11th, the Stafford Center was the place to be to celebrate the driving forces behind our city. The annual City Employee Awards brought everyone together to honor the staff who keep our daily operations running smoothly, alongside the brave men and women who protect and serve Stafford day in and day out. The fellowship was on full display with familiar faces like Chief Richard Ramirez, nominated standout Mariela Santana, as well as Mayor Ken Matthew and Tyler Tyree sharing in the celebration. Kicking off the remarks, Multimedia Director Robert Frith took a moment to reflect on the year.
Thank you for your dedication, your service, and the positive difference you make. And we hope you enjoy this opportunity to relax, connect with your colleagues, and know how much you are valued.
That shared dedication is exactly what makes Stafford so unique. Echoing the sentiment, Mayor Ken Matthew took the stage to officially thank the employees for their commitment to the city.
Thank you, especially police officers, fire officers, they are taking the risk. We have to appreciate, they are the one protecting us. Thank you so much for being here.
Following the heartfelt words, everyone gathered to break bread, enjoying a great lunch and some well-deserved downtime with their colleagues. But the highlight of the afternoon was recognizing the incredible loyalty within the city's workforce, honoring those who have dedicated 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and even 30 years to Stafford. Here are some of the milestone honorees. Celebrating 5 years from finance, Alka Shah. For the fire department, Lieutenant Steve McElberry, celebrating 20 years. Matthew Cyrus, John Gutierrez, John Cruz, Brian Perkins, and Andrew George, all celebrating an amazing 10 years. Eugenio Rodriguez with 25 years, Antonio Melendez with 20, and Juan Mendoza and Christopher Grice, both celebrating 10 years. From the police department, Captain Joe Williams with 20 years and Sergeant Enrique Alvarado with 10. In development services, building official Irby Rico with an incredible 30 years and Scott McElrath with 20. From the courts department, Deputy Administrator Gloria Oria celebrating 25 years. A special shout out to the employee engagement group for their continuous hard work behind the scenes. Then came the highly anticipated Employee of the Year nominees. Marcus Vasquez from Code Compliance. Rafi Palalon from Street Department. Mariela Santana from Development Services. Stephen Wen from Information Technology. My personal favorite, Marin Morales from Multimedia Communications. Coromoto Gallegos from the Stafford Fire Department. Stafford Fire Chief Jose Magaña. Stafford PD Lieutenant Luciano Lopez. Detective Holly Shanklin McCartney. And Christy Melendez. And taking home the top honor as this year's Employee of the Year, Stafford Fire Chief Jose Magaña. On behalf of the city, congratulations to all the nominees and award recipients for a phenomenal year. For Stafford Weekly News, I am Mal Morales.
Space City Substance, next. Houston is a city known for its bespoke works, from cowboy boots to custom cars to handmade spacesuits. The Houston Center for Contemporary Craft pays tribute to it all. History and handmade come together at the current exhibition at the Houston Center for Contemporary Craft, Clutch City Craft.
We are in the midst of Clutch City Craft, a large group survey exhibition spanning infrastructure, handmade bricks and mosaic tile, wayfinding signage to artists who are collaborating with NASA and historic NASA archival objects. This is an exhibition that it takes you on a material journey through the craftspeople who built Houston. This is filled with local heroes, and it tells a really special story that hasn't been told yet, really, I think. I'm hoping that visitors leave with a new appreciation for the material innovation and ingenuity and skill that is in our city. Houston is known as the energy capital. It's known for its infrastructure, it's known for its industry, but there is this really dense community of makers and artists that animate all of those industries and animate the building of the city itself. Houston successfully lobbied for the NASA Space Center to come be stationed in Houston, and with that brought material science, scientists, engineers, and astronauts into our city. And what I found going through the archives at NASA is there are ceramic objects, fiber objects that are handmade. Every astronaut suit is bespoke to the dimensions of each astronaut and is handmade by skilled garment makers and pattern makers. And like this piece here, which is a thermal insulated quilt that lines the inside of a spaceship for when it comes back into the atmosphere, and kind of insulates the infrastructure of the craft so that it can safely land back on Earth's surface. There are all of these really skilled materials-based artists working on these design parameters, like this piece by Sarah Rosalina here, who worked with the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory to 3D print a ceramic vessel out of a Martian soil simulant. So she is using a material that was developed here in Houston to recreate the Martian surface here and test their equipment as a ceramic base, so clay body, and what her work is so beautifully demonstrating is the direct conduit between ancestral craft knowledge like weaving and binary code and computing technologies. So showing that, the first computer chips and the computer chips that were in the Apollo guidance computer, for instance, those were hand woven. So early computer code that allowed us to get to the moon, for instance, was all actually hand encoded by computer weavers, many of which were women. And in the case of the Apollo guidance computer, many of those computer chips were woven by Navajo weavers in New Mexico. And this just shows one piece that was hand woven, and the 0101 binary code was imbued into the pattern of the weave. And then this piece here by Shannon Swinburne is a contemporary weaver who is referencing the weaving patterns that were found in the NASA Apollo guidance computer. So it uses a kind of rope memory that was hand woven and looked very similar to this. What we have on view here is some very exciting historical examples of master boot craft. So on the left here, you can see two pieces by Rocky Carroll. Rocky was a master craftsman. He had a boot shop in Houston, downtown Houston, and he made boots, cowboy boots, for 7 sitting US presidents, the Pope, Elvis Presley, Dolly Parton. He actually made the most expensive cowboy boots in the world at the time for Elizabeth Taylor that were encrusted with rhinestones. So he was a bootmaker to the stars and to politicians. And we have 2 boots that he made for Governor George Bush from his presidential library here on view. That tradition has been carried on by younger makers like Graham Ebner, who you can see here in this case, who's from Katy. And he is continuing that tradition, was trained under master bootmakers, and now has his own eponymous shop where he makes custom boots, and they're super labor intensive, time intensive. He can only make a few boots a year for his patrons. And then we have one other model of boot making on view from Republic Boot Company, which was started by a 5th generation Houstonian. And it's a little bit scaled up, so it's like a small factory model. But these are 2 bespoke boots and from their collection. One, they were commissioned by NASA to make a commemorative boot for the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. And then we also have the first prototype of the Texan cheerleaders boots. Republic is the Texans' official boot maker, so they had to adapt the traditional cowboy boot to be able to be danced in. So the soles are a little bit different, and they kind of redesigned those into this kind of ruby, really well-known boot that we see today. Kind of in the same vein of the boot makers who are making bespoke custom work for clients. We also have some kind of vernacular metal smithing practices that were born in Houston. So one of those is making spoke rims. They're also called elbows or swangers. And this is a way of extending an aftermarket spoke wheel, making it longer, more ostentatious, and kind of really representing the owner of the vehicle. So a lot of those are also custom, working with clients to kind of showcase their personality through their car, which, as we know here in Houston, is an extension of our bodies, just like boots are. So I hope that you'll leave with a new lease on this city, and you'll start to see craft everywhere you go, from the sidewalk wayfinding signs to the Manned Space Center, to the automobiles that are adorned with handmade spoke rim wheels, and people who are walking on those streets in handmade cowboy boots.
For Artbeat, this is Randall Williams. Let's get wet next. Summer's here and the time is right for swimming in the pool. What? What do you mean that's not the words to the song?
Summer is here, and that means the Stafford Municipal Pool is open to help you beat the heat. The pool opened in late May and will remain open through September 7th. The hours are 10 a.m. through 8 p.m. Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. through 7 p.m. Saturday, and noon through 7 p.m. Sunday. On Monday, the pool will be closed. Season passes are $20 for Stafford residents and employees for up to 4 people. Additional cards will cost $10 each. Residents can also get a day pass for $3, while non-residents' day passes cost $7. If you still have a novice swimmer at home and you want them to learn how to swim in a safe, comfortable environment, the City of Stafford also provides swim lessons throughout the summer. The instructors are Red Cross trained lifeguards, and there's a strict limit to 3 students to each instructor. Each session has lessons in 4 skill levels. Level 1 is from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Level 2 is 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Level 3 is 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Level 4 is 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. The first session of the summer is already coming to an end, but we have another session right around the corner from July 7th to July 17th that is available to all skill levels. The lessons cost $70 for city residents and employees and $90 for non-residents. But spaces are limited, so we encourage you to reserve your spot now. For more information, call the City Pool at 281-692-5615. We hope you have a safe and enjoyable summer.
As we enter into Juneteenth, it's important to remember that there are local organizations that promote Black history year-round. So, let's go to the Black Cowboy Museum.
Well, God asked me to open up a Black Cowboy Museum in 2014. I had a saddle shop. Well, first of all, I'm gonna tell you why I talk like I do. I used to be a country and western singer. George Strait's manager was my manager. Clint Black's band was my band. I lost my voice in 1990. When I lost my voice, I lost my band, and I lost my manager. But I'm a Christian first, and I'm a cowboy sucker. I know when God closes one big door, he opens up a big one. Before I lost my voice, I played for George Bush Sr. in 1990 at the Astrodome, telling my age now. I played for Miss Ann Richards, played for all the mayors of Houston, Kathy Whitmire, Sylvester Turner, Bob Lanier, Lee Brown. I played for all of them. I opened for Selena, I opened for Travis Tritt, I've opened for Emilio, Roy Head, Johnny Rodriguez, a bunch of people. Well, when I lost my voice in 1990, I thought that was it for me. I said, now what am I gonna do? I started working on saddles. I started making chaps, repairing saddles. I had a little saddle shop right here in Rosenberg, Texas. And people used to bring me their saddles because they'd have to go 20, 30 miles for somebody to fix their saddles. So I started fixing saddles. But when I was fixing saddles, God asked me to open up a Black Cowboy Museum. I say, God, I can't even talk. Why do you want me to open up a museum? He said, step out in faith. I got up out of my seat. I took 2 steps, and nothing happened for 10 minutes. I went back to working on my saddles. 2 days later, a guy came into my shop. He was looking around. He saw an old telephone. He saw old sewing machines. He saw a bunch of old pictures on the wall, black cowboys, white cowboys. He said, man, what you got here? I said, I got a saddle shop. He said, no, I mean all this old stuff. I said, I just like looking at it when I come into work. He said, you ever thought about opening up a museum? I thought somebody came and told him what I had been thinking. But I said, I didn't tell anybody anything. So I said, man, I don't know how to open up a museum. He said, I do. He said, what you doing after 5 o'clock? I said, I guess I'm following you. I followed him right down to downtown Rosenberg. 2 weeks later, I had a museum. I opened it on the corner of 90 and 36. It was too small when I opened it. I just thought people started bringing me stuff, pictures and artifacts and sewing machines. And I had to move to a different place, so I moved to this place. Then, this got too big. Well, the first and most important artifact in this museum, actually, Netflix came here in 2018. And they wanted to film it. But they didn't want to film my sign, Jesus is Lord. I said, man, they asked me to take it down. I said, I'm not taking that down. I had a guy named Marvin working for me. He was helping me with the museum. He said, Mr. Larry, I'll take it down. He said, you don't know who this is. This is Netflix. I said, I don't care who it is. You know, I'm not taking my sign down. He took it down. Netflix started filming. An hour later, they said, we're missing something. We don't have that pop. When we first came in, we had a pop. I said, that's because you took my sign down. They filmed me for 5 days. Took all my history, used it, made a movie, made 2 movies. Beyonce heard about it. When she heard about it, she had heard about me in the New York Times, they put me on the front page, talking about cowboys and country music. Two fixtures of the Americana has been whitewashed for decades. Larry Callis comes from a long line of cowboys. Everything leads back to what God can show me what I'm doing. Well, I'm trying to keep it alive. When I first opened this museum, I had no idea what was going to happen. But since I opened it, God is keeping it alive. Juneteenth, I remember I was 3 years old. I was riding in a 1950 Ford truck, and I was standing up in the seat. And I remember looking at the black cowboys riding on Juneteenth, because my parents always say, it's Juneteenth. I like Juneteenth better than I like Christmas. You know, because when I go to Juneteenth, we had red soda water and we had watermelon. And I couldn't wait to get red soda water and watermelon for Juneteenth. That's what I remember about Juneteenth, but I didn't know the history back then. But when I opened this museum, God started showing me the history of the black cowboy. I had an uncle. He was born June 19, 1919. His name was Uncle Willie. Uncle Willie told me, he said, boy, there ain't had no white cowboys when I was young. I said, what they call them? You better not call a white man a cowboy. You better call him a cowhand, a cowman, a cow person, a cow driver, but not a cowboy. Because in Texas, a cowboy was a black man. They would say, hey, go give me that boy that worked them cows. Go give me that boy that worked in the house. He was a house boy. Boy that worked in the yard. He was my yard boy. Go give me that boy that worked them cows. That was my cowboy. That's where the word cowboy came in. And my uncle told me, I said, how did it change? He said, that TV. The cowboy in Texas was a black man. But when he got to Hollywood, they whitewashed him. Just like Ken Burns said. Ken Burns has been whitewashed for decades. And Larry Callis comes from a long line of cowboys back in the day. And he was talking about me on the front page of the New York Times.
That's a wrap on our news for this week. Thank you for joining us. For everyone here at Stafford Weekly News, I'm Randall Williams. May all your news be good news.
This program was produced at City Hall of Stafford, Texas, in association with Houston City College.